Since 1985, it has been the privilege of CCDA to recognize an outstanding choral director in our state who is retired from full-time conducting, having spent the major portion of their careers in California.
Candidates are nominated by the CCDA Board of Directors and voted upon by past presidents.
A nominee may be generally well known or known only in the immediate area in which he or she worked.
This prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award is named in honor of Dr. Howard S. Swan, who was known as the Dean of American Choral Directors.
Howard Swan's life spanned almost the entire 20th century, and he taught most of his long career at Occidental College, and also at Cal State Fullerton and UC Irvine. It is nearly impossible to overemphasize the far-reaching effects of his artistic command, powerful personality, and humanitarian spirit.
Hello, my name is Anne-Marie Dice, and I'm very honored to be speaking about Dr. Mary Breden, my mentor, colleague, and friend. There is no shortage of great accomplishments in Mary's biography and her career, and those of us who are so lucky to have worked with Mary, whether it be a single experience at a choral clinic, or in my personal case, to have worked with her over many years and in very important facets of my life, will always treasure the experience. I first met Mary together with my late father when she invited me to come down to LMU from Sacramento in 1998 after hearing my cassette tape recorded audition for the music program at LMU. She invited us into her office where we chatted a bit, and she had me sing scales and the Breden standard, My Country 'Tis of Thee, in many keys. When we were finished, she said, "You're in. I'd love to take you both on a tour of the campus." And my life and musical path was forever changed. My father always loved to tell this story. Not only did music become so important to me as a student, but Mary made me see how possible it was to continue as a teacher and as a professional singer following my time at LMU. I went on to UC San Diego to receive master's and doctoral degrees in music, greatly due to Mary's encouragement. After which time I taught from the elementary to college level and have been a professional choral singer with various national ensembles over the years. I'm currently the music director at the Academy of Our Lady of Peace in San Diego, which ironically is where Sister Sharon Breden, Mary's sister, taught many years ago. I'm proud to lead the choirs, instrumental ensemble, and AP Music Theory program at my school. And I have Mary to thank for believing in me and supporting me all these years since I was her student. One of Mary's many catchphrases during my time at LMU was, "Life is too short to sing badly," which was so popularized by our choir that we made t-shirts with this quote before going on tour one year. I've never forgotten this, and I think of this phrase and of Mary often. Life really is too short to sing badly, and we can all benefit from Mary's wisdom, her dedication to choral music, and her paving the way for future conductors. Many heartfelt congratulations, Mary. I can't think of anyone more deserving of this very special Swan Award than you. Congratulations, and thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Julie Dana, past president of CCDA. About 9 or 10 years into my career, I found ACDA and realized just how little I actually knew about this profession I had chosen. About that same time, Dr. Mary Breden was Western Division President, planning a wonderful conference in our state capital, and was leading the choral program at Loyola Marymount University in Southern California. I was excited to have been invited to bring my choir to the LMU Festival and meet Dr. Breden. That meeting began a lifelong friendship and understanding for me of the type of human I wanted to be as a choral director. One of the attributes credited to Howard Swan on our website is that he had a humanitarian spirit. And I really believe that Mary embodies this as well. I cannot recall a time when I ran into Mary at a festival or conference or concert where she did not greet me with a smile and a kind word, ask me how I was doing. She always had time for me, little old me, a nobody in the choral profession. I eventually realized the why of that wonderful spirit when I would see Mary and her sister Sharon together at conferences, always serving in the leadership, always smiling, always stopping to talk with those they were encountering. I always viewed them as my ACDA power sisters, women humble yet strong, with a heart for service in our choral world. As a female member of the senior level of conducting now, I look back on the many ways that I was influenced by Mary. She was a woman in a place of leadership. She was humble and caring, but strong and fearless. She stepped into shoes at Loyola Marymount that I'm pretty sure not too many people wanted to do, following her mentor, Paul Solomonovich. And she did it with grace, and she kept that program thriving and making beautiful music, taking it all over the world. The Western Division Conference in Sacramento was my first. I hold it close to my heart, as I learned so much that year about this organization and about what I needed to do to better myself as a choral educator. The people and colleagues who have become so dear to me, I started the journey with there in Sacramento. And I also realized just how important it was to stay involved. She also knew that when I discovered ACDA, I wanted to learn and make up for lost time in my own choral education. Sometimes that meant that clinicians were just as focused on me and my bad habits as conductor as they were on the music from my students standing in front of me on the risers. She gave me counsel when I needed it, and I'm grateful for her honesty and tips and mentoring as I navigated these waters into the choral profession. I have always admired her dedication to and the care that she provided for Sister Sharon and Paul. To me, that was such an important message to all of us that saw them together in a shared passion and service. That, at the end of the day, those relationships built on love are what will carry us through, and they all started with our passion and love for choral music. I am so incredibly happy to see Dr. Mary Breden receiving this prestigious award and being honored as a champion of choral music in our great state of California. Congratulations, Mary, on receiving the Howard Swan Award. Thank you so much for your friendship over the years and for the example that you have set for us all. Bravo, my friend.
Hello, my name's Mike Scheibe. I'm the director of the Chamber Singers at USC and also a member of the faculty at the Thornton School of Music at the University of Southern California. The Howard Swan Award is being presented to Mary Breden. And Mary and I have a long history, probably well over 35 years, of working together and serving the profession. It's a wonderful opportunity for us to remember that the Howard Swan Award is given in honor of him, and he's one of those individuals who intersected our profession, both in the faith community and in the collegiate and school academic work. Mary Breden is as well in that same intersection. In other words, she has served her community, her faith community, her educational institution, and also the profession with distinction over her career. Mary Breden was one of the individuals who intersected in many ways with her students. First, she had to administrate. Second, she had to teach. And third, she had to be an exceptional musician. She did all well with distinction. When I look at her career, our first formal work together occurred in 1990s when we were preparing the ACDA Western Convention in Honolulu, Hawaii. This first adventure for ACDA in Honolulu was one that took quite a bit of work, and Mary, as president-elect, served as program chair. It was at that convention we first presented the music of Eric Whitacre. We met Hakwon Yoon, and that we had the wonderful opportunity of hearing the Kamehameha School's senior class sing their senior songs in our convention. Mary was part of administrating all of that program. Very difficult, a very not advisable way to go. If you listen to the ACDA leadership, especially the executive director at the time. Mary later served ACDA in her capacity as being elected as president-elect. And when she found that the institution of ACDA did not follow what she believed to be the guidelines of ACDA and the work of ACDA, she stepped away from the position. And I want you to think about that in terms of her integrity, because she is a very specific person with her integrity that follows the same line as Paul Solomonovich, her mentor and her teacher at Mount St. Mary College. She later went, as you may know, to ASU and received a master's and doctorate with Dr. Doug McEwen. Her work, as I see it, as a teacher, as an individual, is stunning. I've heard her choirs numerous times. I heard her choir most recently in 2018-19 year, her last year at Marymount after 27 years of service. And I heard them and they were stunning. And I watched her work with them and it was magic. Because she's not only worried about the process or the product, she's worried about the way we get there and the teaching she does to make that happen for each one of these students. But she's also a people person. And one of the things that I found interesting is I asked Frank Bazile, her accompanist for the LMU choirs from 2013 on, what he could say about her abilities and working with her. And I want to share this with you because he auditioned for her. And he says, when I played for that first rehearsal, it seemed like Mary and I had a connection of the type that is so rare and wonderful in the world of choral music. It became clear to me that Mary did not view me as just an accompanist, and I knew that I found a new home where I was deeply participating in choral music at the highest level. Mary Breden represents ACDA, CMEA, California, San Jose State, Texas, University of Texas, Austin, and LMU at the highest standards. I am so thrilled that she has been asked to be the recipient of this award.
It is with gratitude that I thank the CCDA board and past presidents for selecting me as the recipient of the 2021 Howard Swan Lifetime Achievement Award. To be recognized for simply doing what I love is an honor I will always treasure. Over the past year and a half, I have observed many of you from the sidelines as you have heroically dealt with the unknown world of distance teaching and conducting. You have persevered in keeping music alive for your students, preserving beauty in their lives, while serving as a safe harbor for so many who have struggled with personal lives being shuttered. You are the true heroes here, and I have watched in awe, marveling at your accomplishments. Although our choral world is exhausted, the light at the end of the tunnel grows brighter, and choral music continues to simmer in anticipation for the approaching rejuvenation of the art. As I look back over my career, I have so much for which to be thankful. I was very fortunate to grow up in a home that was filled with music. I often think that it was fate that drew me to choral music given that my parents met in a church choir. Piano lessons began when I was 4 and continued when we moved to California when I was 5. Growing up in Redondo Beach, my first exposure to choral music was listening as my parents continued to sing with our church choir every Sunday morning. Although I did not realize it at the time, a seed was planted when I was 12 that would eventually blossom into a career. The leaders of our parish choir invited a local conductor to give a series of workshops on choral techniques and repertoire for the choir. I went with my mom and dad and watched and listened to those workshops. To this day, I still remember vividly the magical energy that this conductor instilled in their singing. I was captivated. On occasion, we would drive across town to hear his church choir. I had never heard such beautiful music as I did on those visits. The conductor, who would later be my teacher and mentor, was Paul Solomonovich. With encouragement from family, I continued to pursue musical studies and enjoyed singing in school choirs and learning many lessons through accompanying for the choirs in high school, undergraduate, and graduate studies. Observing teaching and conducting techniques from the vantage point of the piano bench, I wanted to soak in every method that they were using. My path again crossed that of Solomonovich when I entered the music department at Mount St. Mary's College in Los Angeles. He was the choral director for the women at the Mount and the men at Loyola University, later to become the co-ed Loyola Marymount. Observing this master teacher working with choirs, primarily comprising non-music majors, and witnessing the extraordinary musicality he drew out of these singers, provided some of the most valuable training I experienced. Here I learned to listen, analyze, and problem solve required of a conductor. I think we will all agree that good teaching, like good artistic performance, should and can change lives. How fortunate we are as teachers to participate in the education of others. We should take the time to thank our students for allowing us to present them with the opportunity to explore talents they never thought they had. If we can creatively convey all aspects of the music to our students and see the sparkle in their eyes at that moment in which they are making music, we become the facilitators of students' personal discoveries about their calling as musicians. Through the practice of their craft, probing the depths of meaning, mystery, and transcendent beauty, their lives will be transformed. New chorus members often note their passion for music. They may join the ensemble as individuals, but we help them become collaborative music makers, always striving to reach new levels of musical versatility and artistic excellence. The strength of the ensemble, that coming together for the sake of the music, enlivens their creative spirits. An ever-present challenge that we face regularly is molding many different types of voices and students of varied backgrounds, even a few with no prior musical training, into one unified instrument, one voice. Our restless desire to make things better happens every time we meet in a rehearsal. What is beautiful today is potentially extraordinary tomorrow. That beauty becomes our instrument. We sing through the choir's unified voice, striving to sculpt many voices into one perfect voice. Its richness, coming from a myriad of individual textures, results in beautiful music, beautifully rendered. John Rutter reminds us that choral music is not one of life's frills. It's something that goes to the very heart of our humanity, our sense of community, and our souls. When you return to the live encounter with your art, as your students take that first collective breath, as that initial well-balanced and blended chord excites the air. Renew your commitment to changing lives and to making beautiful sounds. Once again, inspire your students to discover the voice of their souls and the heart of their humanity. In so doing, they will reach out to every heart and soul with whom they share the gift of music. What a remarkable gift it is to be able to elicit such meaning and beauty. I can think of nothing else I would have preferred to do as my life's vocation. Thank you for your dedication to your art and to your calling. And again, many thanks for this beautiful honor.